Debbie, I missed you. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Girl, I'll come here. I'll come here. Give mama a break. Huh? I'll come. Okay. Hey, haven't seen you in. Oh, really? You're fine. Oh, I would cry too. Look at you guys. Look. Hey, what are you doing? We've hit that stage in life. Have we hit that stage in life? You used to laugh at me.
Yes, be so sweet.
She's still, she's just at that stage.
You're not mom, only mom will do.
Only mom will do. Turn your volume off and mute yourself.
I love when babies like fake cry, you know, they just. Fine, you're not like, oh, I'm hugging. You're not giving me back.
She's so confused. Hi. Yes, yeah, that was good. Oh, that was a funny thing. You know what? Hey, you know what? When you get older, when your mom brings you up to meet, you know what I always have? Always have. Yeah, it's still like the young man right now. All right, here you go, Mom. She's like, I'm out. Oh, God, what you want?
Why are you still crying?
Well, because I wanted to make sure Charles heard me.
Me? What did you say? I missed what you said.
Oh, where are you? Hi.
Hello.
Me went wrong, I mean, that's funny. Are you using the board?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
The only bad part is nobody on Zoom can see what you write.
Yeah.
Right, let's see. Unless Chris uses the whiteboard component. I've never had to figure that out. I've used it, it's hard, but I've used it. I tried to figure it out, but I didn't get it.
I don't use the one there. I share my screen from my iPad, and so,
Oh, just use your iPad for the, yeah.
which is pretty fun to do, because then I can just draw on the iPad and
Yeah.
it works.
How's that wall get so black, Charles?
I think it's from the eraser.
Yeah. It's pretty funky, doesn't it, especially on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see all the black dustings, nasty ickiness, yes. Yeah. Well, in a couple of minutes, hopefully some more people will show up. That work clock is dead. Oh, it is? It is not 9:39. No, it's not. It's been 9:39 for days.
Well, yeah, the red hair's just.
Yeah, it's not, it's just, it was like little, just sitting there, just bouncing a little bit. Well, we took the one that was up at the north office and put a new battery in it, and that didn't help, so I threw it away and bought a new clock for $9.10 on Amazon.
That works.
It does work. Hey, I don't even have her and she's still screeching.
Yeah, she's.
I don't know where she
You
is.
said it's nighttime, or it's now time, so
Oh, that'll do it.
oopsies.
Oh.
Hi, hi. Oh, well, you missed, I was holding the baby and she screamed at me.
She said, no, you're not,
But she's still screaming, so it's not be me.
you're not really a good person.
I hear that when Andy calls me too, I'll hear OP in the background.
I was hoping it might be your close call.
Alright, not quite yet. Ding ding.
Yeah, set stuff down and forget it about it.
I don't know. That stuff in that top corner is not yours. You don't think?
No, it's dangerous.
That's Taylor's stuff. Taylor has stuff everywhere.
I do kind of like.
Oh, no. I did too, okay, it's old, so I think it's getting to the point where.
Okay.
Alright.
Are there cat ears on these headphones?
Think there's not yours on the.
Do I think that you have cat ears in your headphones? Is that the question?
Let you guys know.
I just find it quite funny, Charles, that everyone's sitting in the back row, are they afraid of you?
There's-
I know, I'm a Lutheran, we're always in the back row.
I see by the door, but Chris already took that one.
Yeah.
By the door. To get out quicker.
I have some days I'm gonna mess with Kevin on our Monday meeting, and I'm gonna get out early enough to take that. Just to mess with him, so she'll, cause I can't. She is much better. Alright, it's 12:30, alright, here we go. Alright, so, welcome. So, first of all, those of you that are on Zoom. I know that this group can do better than Saturday's group. Because I heard a rumor that Saturday's group, basically Charles and Chris looked at each other on Zoom and everyone else with black boxes with names. So if we could, there we go, Mike, thank you. Alright. So we are already better than Saturday. So, first of all, I'm super excited about today. I hope you brought your laptops. Because I know as your coach, many of you are struggling with, how do I find clients outside my sphere? Or I don't know anybody here, how do I find clients? Does anybody resonate with those comments, right? Yes. So what Charles and Chris are going to teach you today, for those of you who don't know, this is Charles, who's our team leader. Chris Voorhees, our market center tech trainer. You got questions about command, you call Chris, not Margaret. Okay, although I did teach command on Monday, I don't know if you've heard that. But I tried, and Stacy was back there going, no, push this button. But anyway, what we're gonna teach you today is how to build an ad for social media, or are you just doing Facebook? Social media, out of command, that will link to your social media accounts. And then they're also going to teach you what to do when that lead comes in. Now, one of the things that you might say is, well, that's all great, Margaret, why aren't you teaching it? Well, because I didn't build my business that way. But I happened to have been his coach at the time, and Charles did. So Charles built a business with online leads and how to deal with the online leads, because it's still speed to lead, right? Speed to response is the key.
Yeah.
So they are going to teach you, if somebody pushes a button that becomes a lead at 4 o'clock in the morning when you're all sleeping, you're actually gonna respond to them at 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is what they're gonna teach you. You have 2 very credible instructors who've been there, done that. And so fire it up, and I believe when they're done, you're actually gonna hit go on an ad, right?
That's what the intent is.
All right, it's all yours.
The question, does this apply to LinkedIn as well?
No, this won't be LinkedIn. No, this will be Facebook, Instagram, so Meta products. It will be TikTok if you want to roll that way and see how much longer that lasts, and Google. So,
But I think that you can take some elements of this and apply it to Instagram, it just may not, or not to LinkedIn, it just may not be
the lead
an
capture,
automated,
yeah.
right?
The lead capture
Um,
is different.
Exactly.
But we're gonna be doing mopers, so it should work. So first and foremost, as we look at this, what book is this? MREA, yeah, the MREA, and Duke's like, I can't see it, Charles, I have no clue, but it's the MREA. And so we have 4 models of the MREA. Can anyone tell me what those models are?
Budget,
Budget's one, yeah.
revenue,
Nope. One starts with an E,
economic,
economic, L,
leverage.
lead generation. You said budget, and then there's no. Does not start with no, but organizational, right? So it's elbow, it's economic, it's lead gen, it's budget, it's organization. And so when we're talking about lead generation, we do know that there's 2 ways that we can lead generate in our business. And anyone tell me what those 2 different ways are? two different styles of lead generation. So we're not looking for open houses, door knocking, anything like that. It's two different, distinct different ways we can build a business.
Social media.
Paid.
I'm thinking passive, but it's not.
It's kind of passive, yeah, so
Like very organic.
kind of organic, yeah.
What's it
Isn't it
start with?
related?
One starts with M. And one starts with a P.
One is where you. do
One's
it like-
definitely paid,
I know what
yeah,
it
but
means,
it's not
like
paid.
you do it from behind the scenes, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna send, they'll see my name on
Uh-huh.
this postcard, but I'm not
Yeah.
calling, one's like.
Mark.
That's what I am. I can't think of the word.
Jeff, I think I heard you talk, but I think the volume.
Marketing and prospecting.
Yeah, we got prospecting and marketing. And so when we start talking about those two different things, we start to think about prospecting, it's really time on task over time, where we're gonna be door knocking, we're gonna be cold calling, we're doing a lot of different things, and we have the marketing aspect where we're going to just put out a bigger net. And that's how I really think about it. I think about marketing as a net. And then I think about prospecting as fishing, right? It's one-to-one versus one-to-many. And so what we're gonna go over today is we're gonna go over command and we're gonna talk about lead generation. And so when we're talking about the MREA, right, we're going through it. So the biggest challenge you're gonna face in building your sales business is to overcome continuing to focus on lead generation, no matter how many leads you have or how busy you become. Once a high number of leads is being generated, there is a tendency to settle for that number and you devote more of your time and energy into servicing the business. This is a fairly common situation. Agents and their teams become stretched trying to handle their existing business and simply take their eye off of the ball. And this is the thing, we know that we need to be constantly generating more and more leads. And Gary Keller would tell us this. That when we start off, we have our database, right? And everyone here, your database is hopefully in command, and while we're not gonna push and harp on it, hopefully it's in command. And we need to be growing that. So half of our database is our Met database, the people that know us, like us, and trust us, our sphere of influence, people we met at open houses and we have some kind of relationship with them. And then we have this whole other section of not met people. And these are our leads, and this is how we would think about them in 2024 is a lead. So you wanna pull up your screen, you have power to do that?
I believe so.
Yep, looks like it. Cool, so where are we, Chris?
We are in command home screen,
Yep, what's the URL for those in the back?
agent.kw.com.
Yeah, so agent.kw.com, we're in command, and so what's cool about this, right, is we're in a proprietary software to KW. This is what KW did. KW said, Gary Keller said, hey, there's all kinds of craziness happening in the CRM world, and what we've been seeing is a lot of these big competitors of ours have been going through and buying up CRMs. And then what they're doing is they're scraping the data, they're taking the data and they are using it for, well, their own purposes and to sell that information back to people that want to buy it. And so Gary Keller went out and he hired some really smart people to create this for us, and then we have a data agreement with our agents. And that data agreement is, this is your information, we're not gonna ever do anything with it. And so this is your client, your lead, and 100% your data, and Gary Keller's not gonna mine any of the data. So on the left-hand side, we got applets, Chris, and show them how to open up the applets. So you think about your cell phone, right? You have all these different applets. This is your iPhone, because Chris is a big iPhone consumer. And so as we're looking at this, we have applets, we have contacts, tasks, smart plans, referrals, opportunities, campaign, all kinds of cool stuff. And what's neat about this is it's not a link tree. We have competitors out there and we have other CRMs where they operate a link tree where this is its own platform, this is a platform, this is a platform. All you do is you click it, it takes you somewhere else. This all lives in here. And what's neat about that is that means it talks to each other. And so all the information is gonna go across the different applets that we have, and we're gonna be able to get some information from them to be able to help you build bigger businesses. So we're looking at campaigns. All right, Chris, walk them through how we're gonna load these things.
Yep, so if you haven't been in paid ads over the last year, it has changed for the better. So obviously when we're in command home, or when we go to campaigns at the beginning, we need to get to the actual paid ads area. So there's a couple different areas you can click by doing that. Usually I just click on paid ad quick start. And that's gonna take us to the new and improved paid ads area. Which can seem like a lot at first.
Yeah.
I think those.
This is the day that they're gonna be doing an update. Wherever it's from.
Like right now.
Yeah. Cool, there it is. Can anyone tell us what we're looking at? Like, anyone that has played in here, can anyone tell us what Chris has opened up? Yes, he's opened up campaigns in Command. A little bit further than that. Yeah, type of ads. Anything special about this that anyone knows about?
Template that I guess are color branded maybe?
Okay, there's nothing Keller branded just because it is,
Okay.
it's your business, so we don't really brand anything. The only thing that we do inside of KW is more state compliant, right, where we have to have the DBA, just as Dora wants to know where this is fine. Yeah, the lead forms, all right, Chris, so walk me through that, so we heard lead forms.
Yes, so this is very important. So anything with the blue shaded bubble here, that's gonna include the Facebook lead form. And what that means is basically when you have the ad out on Facebook and they click on it, if it has the Facebook lead form, then it'll automatically prompt them to asking them for their first name, last name, phone number, and email. If you use one with one of the orange shaded bubbles, that's gonna be your own landing page lead form. So obviously, if we're paying money for these ads, the whole point is trying to get leads from it. So if you're gonna use one of the orange bubbles, you want to make sure that you're redirecting them to a place that will capture their information, or at least try to capture their information. One of the ways you can do that is using if your website's through Command, you can have forced registration, to where it will automatically prompt anybody who's using the website searching for homes. And you'll be able to essentially get their information as well, but that's a big piece here is the blue shaded. bubbles.
Why would you use the one? I mean, because wouldn't it be like get more clicks before you're capturing their information? What's the benefit?
You have to make sure that yours is working right. I feel like there's a downside to using
All right,
yours.
so great question, right? And so as we're looking at this thing, so who has ever clicked on a learn more button on Facebook? And then what has happened? You put in your name, your phone number, your email, and what has happened from there?
Well, then you get redirected to the next place.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so you get redirected to the next place, right? Takes you to the thank you screen. The thank you screen says, hey, if you want to do something while you're waiting to be contacted, click this. But what happens after all that happens? Typically, so you click on that learn more, then what happens?
You get an email.
Yeah, you get an email, right? Someone starts marketing to you, right? Like that's the next thing. And so when we're looking at this section, this is what I think about. If you don't have a landing page that's going to capture someone's lead, you probably don't want to play in the orange. This is just this is just Facebook, and this is Facebook integrated that will drop into Command. Where I would do the other one, HomeBot, right? So if anyone's using HomeBot, I'd probably do a HomeBot ad. Hey, what's your evaluation of your home? And then HomeBot has its own landing page. They go and they put their information and it captures them right then and there.
Yeah, okay.
So that's where you're gonna do this. You're gonna think about what you're trying to do and you're spending money on this. And so when I started thinking about like, has anyone got a boosted post? Yeah, so yeah, a long time ago, right? A boosted post, when you start thinking about like the dollars, we can't do boosted posts in Command, but boosted posts are a lot cheaper. Because there isn't a lead capture. And so all it's doing is it's brand awareness. And so you're really just pushing out your information, and then you wanna, if you're gonna do a boosted post, hopefully you have your own lead capture form associated with it somewhere. Like I just did a boosted post for the real estate school because I'm taking them to my website, and at least I'm gonna get website traffic and hopefully I get some clicks where people are gonna register. But the whole intent of what we're looking to do is to get people's information and to get them to talk to us. All right, Chris, so then we're probably gonna live up in the blue for a lot of stuff that we do, unless you're using some third-party software to where you're gonna be capturing information like HomeBot. HomeBot's like the big one that I can think about. Any home evaluation tool where you can keep the info, I would use it there. If you were maybe creating some kind of seller guide or buyer guide to where they actually have to log into a a product software to get it, maybe I would do that as well. But we're gonna mostly live in the blue. So Chris, what do we have?
A couple other things that you want to pay attention to is the platforms that you're going to be marketing across or advertising across. So these are Meta, Facebook, Instagram. As we get down to these ones down here, we do have Google, Google Ads, and then what do they call the Google AdWords, or where it's basically no pictures, it's just you're trying to.
You got Google search and then you got Google AdWords.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. One thing that I do want to mention about these down here is these are gonna be, especially to Google here, they're gonna be long-term plays. And they're, I think, a minimum of $250 a month, so it's a monthly subscription. And they say you won't see results until, 6 to 8 months down the road. Again, for today's purpose, we're gonna be living up here, so you just wanna pay attention to what channels you're marketing across, and then also this information here. So this ad, if you select this is gonna be a listing ad with a single image or video. The next one is a listing with a multi-image carousel. Multi-listing, so multiple different listings here with the carousel as well, and then non-listing, so with a video or image.
Can anyone tell me what a carousel is?
Rotation of images, right?
Yeah, it was like.
So that.
The music in the mall with the horse and the elephant. Yeah, right, so that's what this is, and so what's cool about this, so Chris, if I were to do like a carousel. What's gonna happen, like on Facebook, what would that do for us?
So basically, the first time somebody's scrolling by and they see it, they'll see one picture, and then maybe, an hour later, they're scrolling again and they see the same ad, but it's a different picture. So it's gonna constantly be pushing different content or new content in front of them to try to get them to click on it as well.
And Facebook is really pushing this, so this is what's neat about this, this is listing, non-listing. So we've partnered with Facebook, like literally, I gotta go down to Texas 4 or 5 years ago, and I gotta go into Facebook's headquarters where they were working on our platform, like these are literally Facebook engineers that are working inside of Command. And what they've done is they've gone through and they said, these are people, these are buyers. And these demographics, if you click on one of these three, you are gonna get the best possible return on investment for your dollar spent, because we're gonna push it heavy to people that are most likely they're gonna engage with you and potential buyers. And then non-listing would be everything else in the real estate space. And so that's what you have to kind of think about. So we're gonna probably live a lot right here with what we're playing with. But this is very important to where if you're doing listings, they've already done the legwork, right? And what's neat about that is I don't know if anyone's run Facebook ads back in the day, but pre-Cambridge Analytica, we had the ability to go through and like you could say, I want it sent to this age, male, female, this is the credit card they use, this is how much money they have on the credit card, and this is their ethnicity. Like you could get deep. And then Cambridge Analytica happened, political, we went through an election cycle and they got rid of all, but it was confusing. Like it was very confusing because you get to the point where you'd be like, awesome, so send my house to people that like luxury and they like Jaguar and they like Amexes. And it was like, well, they might like all this stuff, but they might not be able to afford a house. And so you'd be getting lost and you'd be just building all this stuff and you might be sending it to the wrong person, because just because they like all that stuff doesn't mean that they're affluent and they have that kind of money to be able to purchase. So Facebook has taken all the guesswork out for us and they have said, no, these are the people you need to be sending this stuff to for the best return on investment. Cool.
So if we click into the non-listing, because that's what we're gonna talk about, and actually, let me post these into the chat. Charles created some material for us.
Yes, we got a little bit of collateral, and so I guess before we touch that, and you can jump into it if you want, Chris, but can anyone tell me what a MOFR is? A MOFR, MOFIR. I hear one yes. Oh, this pen's garbage.
Yeah, there's a couple that are not good.
It's even worse, like the guys on Zoom are like, I really can't see. All right, yes, we got MOFR, MOFIR, I hear one yes. Who else knows what a MOFR is? I hear two yeses.
Come on, nobody else, all right, ready?
All right, so I got make
Make offer for immediate
response. I thought Jeff would know that answer. I'm like, Jeff might not be on anymore, and there you are. So, MOFR, it's make offer for immediate response. Can anyone tell me what they think that means? Let's say space, kind of. You guys can do the show.
For engagement back.
Yeah, you're looking to offer something for someone to immediately raise their hand. Like, that's what this is. If I were to say, well, it's kind of weird because I think that people are willing to give their information up for a lot of different things. But what,
Yeah.
but what we're looking to do is we're looking to add an item of value worth enough for someone to say, here's my name, phone number, and email, knowing that you're gonna text me, you're gonna call me, you're gonna email me, you are wanting to give them something to give up that information. Keep in mind, there's people out there that don't want you to have that information. I've talked to people where they have to think about like what email they wanna give me. They're like, okay, well, here, you have this email. I'm like, firstly, who has multiple emails and who still has an AOL email? But that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to give a MOFR. So now that we're thinking about this, so we're thinking that we know what a MOFR is. It's make offer for immediate response. We know it's an item of value to get someone's information. What do you guys think as far as a Facebook ad goes to what a MOFR would look like, to where someone would be willing to give you their name, phone number, and email, knowing that they rank you right above a used car salesman?
It's true.
What would you be able to give them to where they would say, here's my info? Okay, gift card, you can say anyone that gives me their information, you could have a chance for $25. Yeah, sure, why not? What about real estate related? What else we got? You don't know these people. This isn't your sphere of influence. This isn't your geographic farm. These are strangers on Facebook.
Free consultation.
A free consultation, okay, awesome, so we're doing a free consultation around what?
Your free consultations.
To see if their ability to purchase a home.
Okay, so you're doing a free buyer consultation, cool, awesome, what else do we have? A free CMA, awesome, what else?
Free buyer guide.
Free buyer guide, okay, I like it. Guys, so if you're looking, what are some of the things that you think that consumers are looking for right now? Like, what might be something to where someone might see some value, not as a real estate agent, because we know that a lot of stuff that we have isn't something that's huge value item, but a lot of people don't have access to it. What might be an item of value that we could give someone that they'd be like, you know what, I'm actually looking for that?
Lender programs.
Lender programs, okay, we got lender programs. What about a foreclosure list? Right, when do we offer a foreclosure list to anyone who gives us their information, right? We have access to that. We can either get it from Land Title and we can send that information out, or you can, whatever's left on the RE Colorado. How much are homes in Colorado right now? Don't remember.
65.
Yeah, okay, 565, you can go ahead and start. What else? Anyone?
600,000-700,000.
600,000, what? Do we think there's any $300,000-$400,000 homes out there?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely is. Do you think there's probably people out there that are looking for that list because they think Colorado's too expensive? Ones we say, how about, here's your homes under 300,000. Click learn more for your homes under $300,000. We heard the lender programs. I like to change it a little bit. What does it look like for first-time home buyer incentives? Click here to learn about all the first-time home buyer incentives. What I like about that one is that one's super ambiguous, right? It could be whatever you want it to be. Like really, anything that you want it to be, and I can tell you that that's actually the one that I did. And we're talking when I was running that play, I was spending like $20 a day. On my ads at that time. I think that's the price point that I was at, but we were 300-400 leads a month is what I was bringing in. And so I do like that, first time home buyer, I like going through, here's your foreclosure list, here's your homes out of X amount of dollars. Whatever it is that we can deliver to somebody to say, you know what? Here you go, used car salesman, here is my name, my phone number, and my email, please give me that item of value. So, Chris, as we're thinking about building this, how are we gonna build this item of value, this MOFR at?
Well, the designs that you have created, that I just posted in the chat there. There's the foreclosure list, there's the under 300,000, which is one that I like to run. Unfortunately, the format you sent me was MP4 for the under 300.
Yeah, there's a video option though.
Oh, that's true. So let's roll with that one then. So as we're starting this, the first thing that you're gonna get to is the Facebook page right here. So you wanna make sure your Facebook page is linked. If it's not, it'll tell you, but you can link a new page right here. So I have mine linked here. And then I think the big piece of it is targeting. So with that, you can just go ahead and target, if we're gonna do like the under 300 in Denver, say, or Arvada, you can go ahead and just type in cities or zip codes.
Up to how many? Oh, go ahead.
While you're linking your Facebook page, do you click opt in to all current and future businesses? Or opt in to current businesses only?
I do current businesses only.
Do you
Because,
select any of them?
yeah, you'll pick the one that you wanna go into, so as you pull this up, it's going to give you like, well, whatever, however many you have, so how many do you have right now? It should give you the options of, 1, 2, 3, or 4, like mine right now, I can do. I did that option, the second option.
Yeah.
I have my production business, Absolute Home Group, and I have the brokerage, those are the only two options that I run ads.
I don't know if these are connected to.
One thing too there, when you are getting logged in, it will ask you to log in through your personal Facebook. That's because your pages are ran from your personal. It's not gonna post, with social posts as well, it's not gonna post anything on your personal page. It's always ran through the business page.
So you're clicking on yours and you don't have, it doesn't say anything?
No, I do, I have 5 different accounts
Oh.
for myself though, so I don't know which one I'm supposed to be clicking on.
Well, which one are you wanting to run your ad out? That's the answer, right? So it's all Taylor. And then it is the different Facebook groups that you've created. So at this point, you've got, or Facebook pages that you've created.
Okay,
So whichever Facebook page you want associated with this ad is the one that you're gonna choose. Because again, like I have my production business and I have the brokerage. And so depending on what I'm doing, I'm probably not gonna put my production business out there, and it should be the brokerage's space, and so that's what you're doing here.
okay.
So Charles,
Yeah.
when I click into the opt into current business only, it will let me go any further than that.
And so that sounds like that's a setting where we don't have it updated all the way through, is that right? Chris?
Opt into all,
Yeah.
and it might come up under that.
I'm sorry.
Is there an option to opt into all instead of,
Yeah, there is.
and then?
Oh,
for me,
the other
one, yeah.
Perfect, cool.
One of the cool things that I think is huge about this targeting is we are able to choose up to 10 locations. So, keep in mind, if you know, or if you go and do the research and see, oh, there's a lot of people from Texas, or a lot of people from California moving to Arvada, which we can show down the road too, because there's a way to find that in Command. You can do multiple different locations to advertise this ad across. So, it's up to 10 different locations at zip code or cities. But again, you can do just your local areas, or you can do outside of Colorado and really try to target those people that are moving to Colorado. You can also change your target radius, but keep in mind as you're doing that, I mean, if you're not gonna be spending a lot of money on this, then I would try to keep the target radius smaller, so that you're gonna be targeting a finer group and hopefully get more leads from that. Because as you build this out and make the radius bigger, your spend is gonna be spread out over more area and could potentially hurt you if you're not gonna be spending a lot.
So I got 2 questions around that. So my first question, what do you think our MOFR would be if we're running a MOFR around people moving to Colorado? like, if you're gonna push this out here, so let's just say you rank versus play, you're doing 10 different cities and or zip codes in other states. What might be your MOFR that you're offering them?
Free moving connection.
I mean, that very well could be something, you know.
A neighborhood guide or something, or a city guide, or.
Yeah, neighborhood guides in Colorado, I think you could offer.
Resources for moving.
Absolutely, some kind of concessions for moving, right? Like use you to move to Colorado, X amount of concessions to help with moving costs,
Right.
right? Like there's all kinds of things that you can be putting out there, and keep in mind this, real estate agents are gonna see this as well. So if you're putting this information out there, you might be connecting with referral partners,
Right.
right? So if you're doing that play, I think that's pretty big. The other thing is, I know there's a group in here right now that just said, I'm gonna put Denver and go a 50-mile radius, like I know at least one of you has thought that at this point.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna caution you on that, not only because of ad spend, just like Chris said, because absolutely, like, you're gonna get less bang for your buck. But if you're going to like Arvada and you go a 50-mile radius, what other cities are you probably gonna touch at that point? Just about every other one.
Hill.
Yeah, you're gonna be in like Vale, you're gonna be in some crazy places, and while again, you could refer that business out. It's a whole nother game plan at that point, because I can tell you this, if you get into some of these smaller towns. They do know everybody, and I'll tell you about this, so I did run that play where I was like, all of Colorado, I didn't care, I'll
Yeah.
do it. And I don't even remember where I landed, but I landed in some like, I think it was like Steamboat is where I landed on the lead. Ready to go, like this person was ready to go. And Steamboat only has one brokerage, that's all they have in Steamboat. And I called the person up and said, I got a referral. And you know, would you give me a 25% referral fee? Like, yeah, absolutely, we would. I gave the person's name, and said, no, we're already working with that person. I know that person, we're friends from high school, we're already working with that person, they refuse to pay the referral fee. Which they can do, because at the end of the day, who regulates referral fees?
No.
NAR does, right? NAR does, and so you would have to go all the way up to the board to do this, you can't go to DORA, which is pretty much who we think runs us, right? And so this would have to be truly a NAR affiliated person. And you would have to get them involved, which would take like going to court, mediation and all that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would caution you going too big with this for that reason.
Yeah.
And again, you don't want to be driving somewhere crazy, you might be like, oh, my license is good for anywhere, I'll go to Colorado Springs. But again, you might end up somewhere weird.
Generally, I like to live around 15 to 25 max, so. So after you get your targeting down there, we'll move down to the media type, and again, in the chat, I posted the content that Charles created. For this instance, let's do the video. And so you'll hit select new media.
Well, I'm not very sure, we're gonna see if this works.
Go for it.
So, I'm running into an error on connecting my Facebook. Do you need to have a Facebook page to post this on?
Absolutely. Great question.
Cause I don't have a page set up.
All right, so, great question. And with that being said, you have to have a business page, and the reason why you have to have a business page is because you can't run ads on your personal page, at least from this system. Now you kind of can because you make yourself a digital creator or whatever. But they don't link this way, and so when I was telling people that do a business page, don't do a business page. You're only gonna create a business page, in my eyes, if you're gonna run paid ads. If you're not running paid ads, I think a business page is a waste of time, like if you're wanting to rank on SEO and do a LinkedIn, right? Like, go LinkedIn is the #1 SEO in your Zillow profile. That's where I would spend most of my time, but if you're serious about running some paid ads, you do need a business page.
And then that's the same for Instagram?
Instagram, the way that this is running, you don't need to have a business page on Instagram, because what this is gonna do is this is going to run a Facebook ad. And then it's gonna put it on Instagram and say that the page isn't associated. I don't know if anyone's ever clicked on one of those before, but so this page doesn't have an Instagram page, and it just pushes them back to Facebook. That's what this would do.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cause I have a business account for Instagram,
Mhm.
it won't let me link to Facebook.
You have to make up.
Well, guys, I have a page. This is-
It's bonuses in it. Yeah, I have to have a business page. So I have to change my Facebook to a business page.
No, you have to add it.
It's not like Instagram where
Yeah,
it just
so-
lets you convert
Yeah,
over.
you can select, right.
You got to have your own. And that's why I tell people, like, you're not gonna run an ad. Don't build a business page. It's a lot of work, painful, and not necessarily the people, but it's more the content that you have, right? And so, think about how much
So you're
time you
making
spend on
this-
this,
Yes,
your personal
okay.
page. Do you wanna do that for a business page as well?
Personal
And I think it
profile.
only makes sense if you're running.
Charles
a
created
business.
some.
For business pages.
And I posted it in the Zoom, but.
Well,
Review.
Look at this.
Like.
Which is neat because I don't think TikTok requires you to
Yeah,
actually have a
so
page
you
at
have
all.
this
I think it's just a business.
and
It's just a page of-
In order to run that.
Let's see how this goes.
All right, Chris. Oh, look, I have my own folder. Look at that.
You do.
Charles.
It was Charles folder.
I bet it's a spam folder. It doesn't even go to his inbox. It just goes right to it.
Right in
I,
there.
I'm not sure.
That's perfect. I don't remember the last time I got an email. Charles, you send emails?
I just renamed my trash can.
Wait, this is cool. I'm excited for this to happen.
Cool. So, when you upload that into here, it'll. You don't have to bring it.
Anita has her hand up. Go ahead, Anita.
I was gonna ask, are you guys gonna go over how to build these lists, these like Colorado homes under 300,000? You know, all these different MOFRs or whatever you're calling them, or?
Yep, I'll, as we get down the ad, I'll show how to get that list created, or at least the under 300.
Okay,
For properties,
great, thank you.
of course. So we'll upload that video. And I believe we can view, oh, yeah. I was hoping maybe we could do a preview.
Is this a video we can access or is this just on Chris's computer?
We'll send out.
We'll make sure we send everything out, but should be in your chat right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, so after we get that uploaded, then we're gonna go down to the text, and this is huge, because obviously the whole point of this is we're trying to capture lead info and get leads from these ads. So we don't wanna put all the information here, and especially listing specific. So if it's an ad around a specific listing, you don't wanna put the address and the price and all the information, because then they're not gonna click into the ad, they don't need the ad, they already got it all right there.
Yeah, where are they gonna go? So, and that's a great point. Like, if you're gonna say, hey, I got a great house at 123 Main Street, where are you gonna go look up that info? Zillow. Yeah, right, absolutely. So you're not gonna, if you're like Chris's point, you're gonna go in and do a listing, you're not gonna put the address, you're not gonna put the price, you're not gonna put the city.
Usually it's something like, you don't wanna miss this,
By the,
learn more for more info.
yeah, something super.
Great house that had, whatever feature about that house on the lake.
Great for
whatever.
families, not
Yeah,
just say don't.
Yeah, don't.
Great family house,
Nope.
close to a church.
Yeah.
Don't put any- But,
In walking distance.
Yeah, so yeah, as you're creating that, you don't put any of that information in there, because they're just gonna go around you at that point. They don't need you, so you're gonna keep it very, very limited and create it more as FOMO, right? That fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Gosh,
So yeah, and obviously you wanna try to keep it, enticing so people will click on it. So something like, you wouldn't believe how many homes under 300 K or.
probably are in your area is where I would go with it, right? Because the way that Christus does this, so if he did Arvada 25-mile radius, we don't know if they're gonna land in Westminster. We don't know if they're gonna land in Denver. Like, we don't know where these people are really coming from. So I'm just gonna say in your area. And that can be for anyone, because this, I don't know truly how this does the lead gen, and Facebook you get to choose. But this could be people driving through the area, or this could be people that live in the area. And I don't know how Facebook does it on this side of things, and the native platform you get to choose.
And again, headline that, so as we're building this out too,
I was thinking you shrink this.
I thought I might be able to, but, oh, here we go, right on the right-hand side, there's a little bar, add preview. So you can actually kind of see it as you're building it out. So we put in that information at the top. Now, the next piece is gonna be that headline, and that I believe is gonna come right around here. So usually what I like to do with that, get all this Zoom stuff out of the way. I like to do something along the lines of tap learn more, or click learn more. And we could even get kind of creative here, and you could have, you know, like a finger pointing over to the right.
Yeah.
Use those emojis. So again, as it's building out, we'll be able to see. So now that finger is pointing right to the learn more button. Again, you don't want to put too much information in here. It's just trying to get them to click on it. Now, because of the type of ad we used, it is using the Facebook lead form. So it's gonna, as soon as they click learn more, it's gonna prompt them, hey, input your first name, last name, phone number, and email. After that, that's where this post lead submission destination is. So we get to choose then where we want to send them. So for this specific one, under homes under 300, if we go to our website, we can start building out a search essentially. And so maybe we'll just go Arvada. And once we start this search, we'll be able to get into the criteria and really make sure that, you know, homes under 300 in the area. As it loads.
Guys, so as we're looking at this, this is also one of those important things. So whatever your website of choice is, making sure that it's updated and making sure that it has information that's clean. So if you're using Command's website, right, you know this is 100% branded to you, and there's also more lead capture, and it's going to flow right to your command section. And so this is pretty neat. And so just so everyone's aware, like if you look on the right-hand side, we have a relationship where we've taken a Google map, we've layered on next door. These are next door boundaries with the MLS. And our MLS is far reaching because we own a company called Smarter Agent. And Smarter Agent attaches to every MLS in the United States. And so we have MLS access for every MLS through this product right here.
And Anita has a question.
Yeah, Chris, I know a while back you were saying we weren't able to use because we use our own website, Trum Home Team. So are we able to use that now to direct these two yet, or is that still a no?
If you have for this specific case, if you have a way that people can search for properties on the website that you're using, all you need for this will be the URL at the top. Because that's basically what we're gonna do is take the URL after we've created this search and put that into our ad so that it sends them basically to this home search essentially.
Okay, so we can direct them to our website with that URL.
Yep.
Awesome.
So then as we build this out, you know, again, this is under 300, so we're gonna make sure we wanna set the max here to 300,000. And then, I mean, you could dive deeper into this if you wanted, beds, bath, property type. For this specific one, we're just gonna stick with the under 300. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this link up top, and you're simply just gonna copy that. We'll go back to our to our campaign, and we're gonna post that down here in the post lead submission. One thing to note here, it usually will double up that HTTPS. So you're gonna wanna make sure you go all the way back and delete one of those, or you'll get an error saying the URL is invalid.
Cool, does everyone see that right? So when are they getting to this screen? When does this happen?
So this would be after they put their first name, last name, phone number, and email and hit submit, then they would be sent to this URL here.
So check that out. This is after they give you their name, their phone number, and their email. They're just like, hey, while you're waiting for us to get back to you, if you want to go look at this kind of stuff, you can go right here. So what Chris just showed you was if you're gonna do 300,000, maybe just go and just create the list and put it in there for them. You could send them to a landing page, right, from KW landing pages, and that's just where you go and you make one. Or you can even send them your app. You're like, well, hey, if you just wanna look at houses on the go, here's my app. And I don't think any of this matters. It's somewhere where you can send them. The whole goal of what we were doing was get their name, phone number, and email so we can reach out to them in a different and systematic and strategic way. This is just giving them something to do until we do that.
I think quick question, Chris, you just did that through your personal webpage within Command. Okay, so got it.
And I think the huge piece of this too, one of the cool features of it, is that list is gonna be changing. So if there's new properties that come up within the time the ad's been released and somebody clicks on the link 6 days from now, 7 days from now, those new properties will show as well. So it's just gonna constantly be changing and updating, making sure that it's most up to date with whatever listings are available under 300. And you don't have to do anything for that, it's just automatically gonna keep doing that. So then the last piece, second to last piece of it is the lead setting. So we actually have the ability to, after they submit their information, obviously they'll get sent into our command. It'll go straight through to our contacts, our new leads, with their first and last name, phone number, email. You'll be able to see, oh, they clicked on this ad, that's how I got their information. But now you can also tag them, and especially with these ads, I always try to keep it specific to whatever the ad, or the tag specific to whatever the ad is. So for this one, you know, maybe I'd create a new tag for under 300K.
Can anyone tell me, like, what's the purpose of a tag?
You can search on. like, you
Okay,
can
I hear search them,
Yeah, I know where they came from,
know where they came from.
further communicate with them.
I like the communication piece, guys, the tag is for communication, it's for systematic and strategic communication. So when you're thinking about this, give me some tags that we might be tagging our people as, right? 'Cause this is segment, this is called segmenting.
Right.
How else would we segment the population inside of our CRM?
First time homebuyers.
First time home buyer, I like it. What else?
Maybe sellers.
Sellers, yep. Buyers, yep. What else? are we-
VIPs,
What is it?
VIPs,
VIPs?
past clients.
Past clients. So don't be tagging people crazy. Don't tag someone dog park. Unless you're going through and you have a big dog park community, right? Like unless you're going through and do a big lead generation at the dog park, don't tag, don't do it. Don't do bowling, right? Like you're not tagging these people like, oh, this is where I met this person. This is how you're gonna systematically and strategically communicate out to them, because what this can lead to down the road is, you might say, send this email of my first time homebuyer seminar to everyone that has a first time homebuyer tag.
Right.
Right? Cause that's how we systematically and strategically, so don't create a bunch of crazy tags.
Unless you have, like you said, unless you have a big group of people, like, for Margaret, she goes bowling all the time, she might have a whole group of people that are like bowling,
Yeah.
and maybe they do get tagged. But if it's just general, like, oh, I met this person while I was at Target, then you're gonna put that in your notes, not your tags,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I mean, Margaret's bowling thing could make sense, right? Like depending on what it looks like.
Yeah.
It could be, she could be tagging the bowling group that she meets with every Wednesday. Right, one of those, I know it's either Wednesday or Thursday. And so she tags it bowling, and then the message that goes out is. Can't wait to see you at this event, or hey, I have this thing special going on, right? Because it's not.
That's a
that-
whole group, not just.
It's going out there, it's so that first, this is how we communicate.
Yeah, I like the big, tag them,
Yeah, that's how I was saying the same thing too, so.
not just how you met them, but like big groups of people.
The big groups.
It's buckets, put people in buckets.
This is for communicating, right, so you have your VIP, you have your past clients, you have your sphere of influence, and think about this. Think about your geographical farm.
Right.
Versus your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence, you might invite over for a potluck, right? Like you might have a monthly potluck where you're doing business collaborations or doing something with them. You're probably not gonna invite your geographical farm over to your house for dinner. And so that's truly how I think about this. You're gonna communicate to people in different ways. You might be doing a first-time homebuyer seminar, a first-time investor seminar. Maybe it's a first-time home seller seminar, right? Where you're talking about, or first-time investor, where you're talking about,
tapping into equity to buy properties. You're gonna be systematically, strategically communicating out to them via the tags, so don't do a bunch of crazy tags. Don't, it will not help you, and it'll just clutter everything up.
And to touch on that, Charles, I think that's the huge thing is as you're running these more and more, you're gonna be building out your database full of leads. So especially, you may just start off with first time buyer ads and see how that goes. But as you build out your database and then you realize, oh, I have 50 leads here tagged with first time buyer, that does open up the opportunity to do the buyer seminar, and which all those playbooks are in Command as well. So it's all right there. It's just, we gotta do it. The other cool thing is we have the ability to have them auto added onto smart plans. So as soon as they go through into your system and they come into Command, they'll be tagged with whatever tag you choose, and then they can also instantly be added onto a smart plan. So if you're someone that's not very good at follow-up, this would be huge. The one piece of this is the smart plan does need to be created before you create this ad. So you would want to go into smart plans and either find one. There's a bunch of Facebook lead follow-up smart plans in our smart plan library. But you want to make sure you have that ready to go first, because you can't do any changes or make the smart plan here inside creating the ad.
Why would we put a smart plan on this? All right, so tell me, if we're talking about this, the mechanics of this is we run a Facebook ad, someone raises their hand, here's my name, phone number, and email, please give me this. Why would we put them on a smart plan?
So you don't have to follow them?
I never have to call them.
Top of mind.
Absolutely.
So that they immediately get something.
It's a speed to lead.
Yeah.
This is speed to lead. Like, let's say this person is truly serious about buying a house. And you ask for something and they don't get anything from you. What are they gonna do? They're gonna look somewhere else for it, and you're trying to stop them from going somewhere else. So we have the ability to set them up for a text message, set them up for an email, to set it up to where Command's letting us know, call this person right now. Like, you have the ability to do all these different things, and this is what's important about this, is the smart plan side of things, because it is a speed to lead. They are interested, and we need to be communicating out to them as quickly as possible.
One thing to note too on these auto smart plans that I ran into as a trial by error, you wanna, if somebody responds to the smart plan, make sure you go in and then take them off the smart plan so they don't continuously get more automated messages. Because once they respond, then, I mean, that's your chance to really dive into it and start talking to them, whether it's text, email, phone, whatever it might be. But if you leave them on the smart plan and then they respond and you do nothing, they're still gonna get the next steps of each smart plan, which may be automated messages that will make them think they're just talking to a computer.
What smart plan do you recommend for follow-up on Facebook? The one that you've got right there, the Nick Baldwin lead, or?
I haven't seen recently an updated if there's any newer ones, but this was the one that I was using a lot, was the Nick Baldwin Facebook lead follow-up. Again, if you go into smart plans and go into the library, you can search FB, you can search Facebook, and there will be a huge library of all these different smart plans or follow-up plans. And you can change them to sound more like you can edit them.
And we'll show you that.
Yeah.
We have the next step, we'll show you that.
So,
Okay, all right, because there's like a bazillion. I'm looking at
Yeah.
859.
It's just finding the right one that you like, that you may think will get the best engagement from people or responses from people.
Or to say you'll never have to contact them, or.
Not that I would do that.
Let the robot talk to them.
The last piece of it is the compliance. You can either have a custom DBA logo override or just default. Typically, I keep that at default because it comes from our marketing profile and everything. So the next piece is going to be proceed to the last step, and really that's just the payment screen here. So you can choose the date. One of the new features with these new ads, we can actually release it same day. So you could build this out and get it sent out right now. And then you choose your end date as well. One thing to keep in mind here is whatever your spend is, that's gonna be split up in those dates. I think the minimum amount you can do is $3.
So let's do 4, I thought, but
$4. I like to stay at least around $5 a day. But ultimately, the more you put into it, per day, there's a good chance you'll be getting more leads from that. So that's completely up to you.
And this is why, if we were to go back and look back into 2020 until now, what we saw was Zillow, Realtor.com, all those third-party lead aggregators, they were sourcing their subscribers from Facebook. So when you're going in and you're running Facebook ads, those are the people that are also spending money to get leads into their system. So you still will be able to compete against them, but you need to have a little bit higher of an ad spend, especially in Colorado, because of, well, our market, right? Because of the dollars and how much it costs for everything, that's why it's a little bit higher. So, but $4 is your minimum, 5 something is probably your safer bet, absolutely.
Another thing to note here too, if you say you spread this out over a week, you can always come back in here and stop it if you notice that you're just not getting any traction on it, or something's going on where you're just not getting the returns that you want. You can always come in and stop these as they're currently going. So the last piece of it is just going to be the billing. So, and then you would hit purchase now. From there, you'll be able to access any of the ads, including the one that you're currently running, underneath programs. So if we click on programs here, this will be where you'll be able to see any of the ads that you've sent out already, as well as you can see the stats for it. So if you click into it, you can actually track clicks, how many leads you received, any views, cost per click, cost per lead, and click-through rate.
And so I would say that there's a deficiency here, right? When I'm looking at $292 versus $17.49. So we're talking $17.49 for a lead, which in the grand scheme of things is right on par, right? I think the industry average is like $17 per lead is what the industry average is. But if you look at it, that cost per click, there was 814 views and 12 clicks on this thing. So 814 people met the needs of looking for a house on 8679 Garrison. 12 people actually clicked on it, and then they were like, you know what, I don't know if I want this used car salesman to have my name, phone number, and email for what they're giving.
10 people got scared.
But that's exactly what it is. But 2 people went all the way through. They're like, no, I'm really interested in this. So $17, that's perfect, right? Like that's industry average, that's where they're living. And you led with the basis.
I was just gonna say, I don't know why I led with that.
That's why, yeah, so like, you know what? They were hoping if they click learn more, there would actually be a picture of a house.
See, that's.
Yeah. So we figured it out, and this is Chris who's teaching us how to do this, but no.
Or how not to.
Yeah, welcome to this TED Talk, and so $2.92, what is the value proposition for them to actually go through with it? Because at $2.92, that's phenomenal. Very good.
So
Where do the leads go? Cool, so now a lead comes in. What happens to those leads as they're rolling through?
well, the great thing, if you haven't taken it off of your home screen, is in the command home screen. One, you'll be notified in your notification bell here. You'll be notified from your command app on your phone. I believe you even get an email.
You get an email?
Saying you got a new lead received.
Yep.
And then at the very bottom.
And they're gonna say, please talk to me on WhatsApp. Don't talk to those people either.
Yeah.
And then at the very bottom, is your recent leads. This is where you can see the most recent leads that have came into your database, into your system, and see when it happened. Which this one actually came through, when command was down, so I'm not sure that's. Anyways,
Can I ask you a question? So let's say they have given you like your information and you're saying like, if we don't want to speak to this person, you put them on SmartPlan, or do you?
No. That's what Taylor said. No one else said that.
Okay, so you, in theory, you have that info when you reach out directly and
Not in
say,
theory.
I meant via email.
got your info.
You're spending
talk
money,
with you.
right, this is the.
Gotcha. So we're not just popping them on, us, we're
Yeah.
reaching out.
If you just want to put out, if you just want to put out your tent to take mind share,
Not what I meant.
what Taylor's already doing, right, so let's take Taylor as positive, because now we saw bad Taylor, but let's look at good Taylor. Right, like when we look at Taylor's Instagram account, where she's putting out information and she's using hashtags and geotags, and people are seeing her, and she's just like, hey, look what I'm talking about, send me a DM. Which I'm sure some weird stuff happens there, and she wish she'd put them on smart.
Like
But,
being the example.
yeah, but with this, you're spending money, you wanna talk to these people, and these people, Facebook said that this person's actually probably really interested in what you're talking about, and they're like, you know what, used car salesman, here's my name, phone number, email, you wanna talk to them, you do. The smart plan is just, this thing might come in at 3 a.m.
Okay,
Or when you're on an appointment doing something else, you might be in a call or whatever, and this is just gonna start the conversation, so you can actually jump back into
so
it.
it's like acknowledging, hey, I got you.
Absolutely.
Circle back. Okay,
Yeah.
it's fast.
I meant putting them on a smart plan that we just discussed on Monday, so I don't have to email them.
Yeah,
I'll talk to them, I'm just not emailing.
yeah, that works, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anita.
I was just curious what you guys, if anybody's tracking like lead to close ratio on these types of ads, and is anybody actually closing business from these? I'm sure you are. Like, what does that look like? Is it worth it?
The industry average is 3%.
Okay.
So out of every 100, you're gonna close 3 of them, right? And so this is something where you need to have a lot of them. And this is what we also know. Across all industries, it takes like 12 touches. And this is where we see agents get worn out, and hey, my name's Charles, and I've been guilty of this. To where I can tell you that I would be running this thing, I told you guys I was spending $20 a day on this. And I would have people getting into my ecosystem, and I'd reach out to them for 4 or 5 months. And they're like, you know what, I just need a couple more months, I just need a couple more months. And then I was like, you know what, I'm tired of reaching out every other week, I'm gonna just wait a little bit. And so I think they told me, you know, call me back in 3 months, and I think I did wait 3 months. At this point, and I was like, well, I better see how they're doing. And I reached out to them and I said, you know, hey, how's everything going with the house search? And they were like, hey, appreciate you reaching out, we love our new house.
It has happened.
It happens all the time, and so that's why the smart plans work, is because you're gonna even get some fatigue where you're just like, man, I'm doing so much and I'm not getting anywhere with these people. And until they tell you to go away, it's a not right now, is all this is, and so that's why we need to come in with value, and what can we give them, hey, I wanna check in on you, but hey, how are things going? Hey, did you see what interest rates are doing? Hey, this is my lender, wanting to give you an introduction, and he's out with the movers, right? Like, you're giving all this value to them, because a lot of this is a long.
So if you go to make your own video, what is ADMB? Cause that's what I'm not,
80 megabytes,
It's
Yeah.
the size of it.
how do you, so it has to be probably shorter than 30 seconds if you're
Well,
making a video?
I don't know what the exact time is, how short or how long you can make it, but I definitely, if you're doing a paid ad, I would try to keep it shorter
Oh, that's
rather
62.
than you know, like a minute and a half video might lose the people because
Yeah,
they're scrolling on Facebook looking at stuff, so you want it to be short, sweet, to the point, grab their attention so they can click on it, because as soon as you lose their attention, they're just gonna keep scrolling past.
okay.
All right, let's get into smart plans. I know we mentioned that, so if we wanted to go find a smart plan for this specific purpose, to follow up with our Facebook leads. And again, if it's the under 300, maybe you're gonna create a smart plan that's more tuned to the under 300 crowd, so it's saying something like, hey, are you still interested in homes under 300, something like that. But ultimately, to find those smart plans, we're gonna come to the library here.
Yeah, you're right, it's a minute long video. For megabyte, 80 megabytes.
A minute?
It's a minute.
And then we can just go in here and search Facebook.
Yeah.
You can search FB, you're gonna get different results for both. But as we click on that, this is gonna be all the different smart plans that were either created by agents, by KW. And you can see that, you know, this one has 4,000 downloads, and most people are rating, well, 10 people have rated it for an average of 4.5 stars. This one's 3,000 with 4 people rating it at 5 stars. You can also get a general idea by hitting view steps, and you'll be able to see, oh, this is an automated text message. If you don't have Twilio set up, it'll just be a task for you to you saying, hey, send this a text message.
And so what it's gonna do is it's gonna send you in your dashboard, right? It's gonna say, hey, don't forget to send this text message to this person. And you can do it from your cell phone, just copy and paste from there.
Yep, all from the command app. Then this one delays a day, then we get to the email, delayed, they must be from Hawaii, is that what they keep saying? Hello?
Yes. And that's the one I clicked on Sunday too, and I noticed that.
And then the phone call. So keep in mind, like these interactions, phone call and text are, if you don't have Twilio for sure, those are both just gonna pop up as tasks for you. Emails will automatically send if there's any emails in this one. This is an automatic email.
So no Taylor will not call for you.
Darn.
Will not call for you.
I call, I just hate email. It's dumb.
Which one do you want?
It's the first one, Facebook paid ad lead follow-up
Thank you.
by Robert Eichenberry.
But if you like that one, it says a lot of aloha's evidently.
Yes, so say this is the one that we like and we wanna pull it over, you would hit add smart. And then you can rename it to whatever you want, and then you just simply hit download. Now that's gonna pull that from this library over into our specific library, My Smart Plans. And it should be that first one. If you have trouble finding it though, it organizes it by date of when you created it as well. So then, obviously, you wanna make sure this sounds like us, maybe just double check. I always recommend double checking the smart plans with the information, because some agents will go in there and they'll put just their information. And if you don't change that, then you're gonna send these emails with their information and not yours.
Or it might say aloha.
Or it might say aloha, which would be interesting here in Colorado. So when we click into it to edit it, this is basically how it's broken down. So we have our steps here, it'll tell you how long it's waiting, it'll tell you what the step exactly is. If you want to dive into that step a little further, you can click on it. And it'll pull it over on the right-hand side. So notice here, like these are merge field, KW app.app.link, contact first name, contact last name, so those will automatically be put in there. Obviously, we're not on Maui or in Maui, so we would want to change that. So
What would automatically be put in there, Chris? So what's a merge, like what is a merge field?
So a merge field is basically, this text message, or if it was an email as well, it's gonna pull, like this contact first name, it pulls that from the contact card. Same thing for the last name. All of this information is gonna come from your marketing profile, so it automatically will pull the information and put it in there, especially for like the contact first name, it makes it a lot more personable. You know, they're getting a message that says aloha Charles rather than just aloha
Guy.
guy.
Yeah, so the merge fields, you would either have it pointing towards their contact card, or it would be pointing towards your marketing profile. So if you might say, check out my app, you put in that merge field and it actually has your app, so you go directly to your app. Or it has their name, their last name, their phone number, their email, whatever, and you can actually point back to it through these merge fields.
You'll also have the ability to select, well, not on the first task, but on all the other ones, you have the ability to select time of day when you want it to go out. Obviously, if this is a smart plan we're using on the ad as a follow-up, as soon as they submit their information, they're getting added to the smart plan, and that first task will start. Or first step will start.
And this is what I like on this, so if I was running one of these, I would send a text and an email out immediately. And they would both say something to the effect of, when would be a good time to reach out to you? Right, like, that's how I would lay them out, because again, you're gonna get some stuff that comes in at 1 in the morning. And yes, there's gonna be some weirdos, that are like, right now, and we're gonna disregard that text, like obviously I'm not texting or calling someone at 1 in the morning, even if the robot started it for me. And so set it up to where they can actually give you a time of day, and when would be a good time to communicate out to them. So all my texts and my emails just would go out, and the very first one would say, hey, thanks for reaching out, got your inquiry, when would be a good time to connect over the phone? And then they'll give you a time.
Emails, same thing, you know, you can click on let's hit cancel here first. You can come in here and click on the email, and that'll pull up what the email's gonna look like as well. Again, the merge fields will automatically put in all that stuff for you. This one down here, this agent signature is not a merge field, so that's why, another reason why I recommend coming in here, because if you just left it like this, it would just say agent signature. So you wanna make sure you go in and delete that and then put in your actual signature. So always double check on these, and then you'll notice here you have the ability to change time of day as well, so maybe, like Charles mentioned, you have your first text and email go out, but then maybe down the road on your smartphone, if they're not responding, maybe you try different times of day for different things, just to see if you can get a hold of them.
We don't know how people like to be communicated to, right? I mean, some people like text messages, or some people like Taylor that hates emails, right? There's phone calls, we don't know what their love language is, and we don't know what their work schedule looks like. And so sending out different times of days and different mediums of communication, that's gonna help you break through and be able to figure out a different way that's gonna make the most sense to communicate with them. And you might find out that, you know, they only email at 6 o'clock at night, or they text message at 8 in the morning, right? That you're gonna see, and you're gonna be able to pick up those patterns, and then you're gonna be able to know, like, okay, this is when I need to send out my communication to them, because the other times of days they're busy.
The other thing that I think is huge in here is this right now is considered a simple email type, but we also have the ability, if we've already created an email design, you can go into command and create an actual email design, and then use that for these smart plans as well. So you can really get customized with it, make sure it says everything that you want it to say in those emails. But again, you'll just find it in your library there. Always make sure you hit the save changes. And then again, if you wanted to add additional steps, you can add additional steps here on the left-hand side. It's just a drag and drop to wherever you want to do that. So, and then if you're trying to change the delays on these, you'll just click into the step and you'll be able to change the delays over here with the edit button. So, a lot of customization in here to really build it out the way you want it to for all these leads that you're gonna be getting.
And a lot of these programs, a lot of these follow-up ones that are Facebook are gonna include stuff like text. And the Twilio, I mean, if you haven't used Twilio, that could be a brand new thing. So Twilio, yeah, she said, what is that?
Twilio's fun. It's
Text message.
it's an automated text messaging system. It's not your actual phone number, but you can get a local area code. And what I recommend if you do go the Twilio route is, as soon as you get it all set up, send out a mass text message saying this is your business number so that people understand it's you. Outside of that, it's a nice feature. I think it's $3.16 a month still.
It's not that, but it
Yeah.
is a service.
And that's the thing, right? So there's no carrier, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, that is going to give a third party access to a phone number. Right, that there's no world where that will ever happen. And so what this is doing is you're getting Twilio, which is essentially just a T-Mobile carrier or whatever, but it is hosted on a platform to where you're sending out this information. And so as you're working with these leads and you're just trying to figure out different ways to communicate out to them, they're gonna be firing this stuff off. What's neat about that is it's all gonna land in command. So you're gonna have the running communication of everything you try to do with this person, and then you get to decide at some point, am I gonna move forward with them, or am I cutting them off from communication, or am I just gonna put it on an English drip? Right, and you'll just be able to watch everything that is happening with this person. Then when they start responding back, you might send something out to where you're saying, hey, this is my personal phone number now, and so if you ever need to get a hold of me, this is the number, right? And so you can transition them out, but just for simplicity's sake and setting it and forgetting it, put them on Twilio, and just like Twilio would work for $3 a month, for whether like 500 text messages or something.
300
300
credits, which one credits one text message up to 180 characters or
Yeah.
something, so.
And so just do that and then transition them to where now they're a real client and they get your personal cell phone at that point. Sounds good.
Couple other things, one, I completely forgot that they put this new feature in here, I had mentioned to make sure you take them off a smart plan as soon as they respond. We actually have that feature right here, you can check the boxes for both text and email, so as soon as they respond to one or both, they'll be taken off the smart plan, so you don't have to worry about them getting any more automated information or text. The other piece of it too that I think is huge is maybe you have this smart plan that's, let's say 10 to 14 days, hitting hard, you know, trying to reach out every day to these people to get them to communicate with you. But then after that, what's gonna happen? So the smart plan ends and they're done. But you can actually also add them onto a smart plan from a smart plan. So maybe you have a long-term nurture after that, that you wanna throw them onto. And so you can throw this down here. Oh,
Something went wrong.
Weird. But no, so that's, I think it's huge, so you could have that quick, fast, reaching out to them multiple times. Smart plan over the first week or two, but then after that, you add them to a long-term nurture. Or it's automatically adding them, so it'll take them from that first smart plan, throw them onto the second one, that then reaches out maybe once every month or so. But just trying to stay top of mind, getting content to them.
Cool, so we were gonna run the other end that you wanted to talk about, where we were trying to get some referrals from other states. Where do I go for that?
So if you want to see, kind of the traffic,
Yeah,
if you click on the referrals, I don't know.
I just did a refresh and then punch the screen a couple times.
There's a reason I have a thick case.
So CC, smart plan, you have to put on Monday, you just have to add 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, all the way up to 9.
They're probably, just double check them, they were already doing it for the 43, maybe the next 3, you just got to put them so 3 and 4,
Okay.
and 6 and 7. or what, just to
So,
all of it.
If you go to the referral section here, you can go to map. And you can actually sort this. Oh, that's right.
Step production.
So we would do referral patterns. If you change the drop down arrow to referral patterns, and then we select.
Inbound or outbound. I think it's just arrows.
Let's go, everything is going so slow, so we have.
Oh, we go.
So you can see inbound, outbound, so maybe we wanna type in Denver. Or Arvada, right now it's in Austin, so let's do Arvada, Colorado. And to toggle between inbound, outbound, that's how you can see here, so sent and received, but you'll be able to see all these,
Click on the other one.
there we go.
There it is.
So we'll be able to see, okay, a lot of people are coming from Houston, or at least 2% of the referrals from Houston, 3% from Colorado Springs. So you can kind of narrow that down, and maybe if we don't do Arvada, maybe we do Denver, and you'll be able to just do this for different areas and kind of see where the traffic is coming from. And again, that's how you can target in that ad, you can choose up to 10 different places to target.
And so that's what's neat about this, right? So we've been hearing, these are all the cities where people are migrating from, it's based off of Redfin data. Well, this is KW data, right? And so this are actual referrals that are coming through our KW ecosystem from brokerages of other cities and states coming into those cities. So if you were gonna run this play, like Chris said, you were just gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna go after maybe some referral partners as well as some people coming into Colorado. Here's your list.
51% is coming from Arizona.
So go Arizona all day long.
Is this only KW?
Yeah.
It's only KW's info. And so the other place, if you were really wanting to gamify this a little bit more, Jeff, is I probably go to Redfin, so that's how Redfin does it. Is Redfin, when they go through and they say this, how many people are migrating through, they're just tracking the people that are clicking through their apps. And they're the, number 3 most used platform outside of Zillow, and then we don't know if it's realtor.com or homes these days.
Where are they coming from? Is that?
Arizona is the.
Way up north, really?
Oh, yeah, somebody's coming from Alaska.
No, it's something weird, it's Goodyear, no, it's Arizona.
That's,
Oh,
yeah.
it is Anchorage, yeah.
So is this kind of how it could help you when you're trying to figure out where you wanna run your paid ads, is that?
Yeah, so remember how we selected a city or you can use a zip code? This is how, if you're trying to look at, oh, maybe there's a lot of people moving from these other areas, Arizona specifically. And you could target to those different areas as well.
And then you gotta keep in mind that two different people are gonna see this. People interested in buying in Colorado as well as referral partners. And so they're both seen, and if your MOFR's, high touch point enough to where there's enough value in it, you could just be building your database for referral partners.
Charles, what were some numbers you used?
My big one was first time homebuyer credits. That was the big one that I ran, and again, because it's super ambiguous, and that's what you're gonna see.
Yeah,
You're
what
gonna-
did you tell them with the credits?
Oh, yeah, and so when you're going through, this is what I would do, so people called me because super ambiguous, and I'd say, also, I just have a couple questions to ask, and so I would call them. And I would say, are you working with a real estate? That'd be my first one, right? Working with a real estate. My second one is, I would ask them would be, have you declared bankruptcy? Because I need to know. And yes, there's gonna be people who are like, oh yeah, I declared 3. Right, like, you're gonna get those people. I would ask them, what dollar amount are they looking at? Right, to figure out kind of what price range, and then I ask them, are they working with a lender? And so I would just go through all these different things to kind of figure out a little bit more about them, and then I would hand it off to the lender. I wouldn't do anything from there, I'm handing it off to the lender at that point. If I found out that they have a bankruptcy, I'm not gonna hand them off and say, hey, actually our program won't actually be able to help you with this. I ask them for their credit score, they're like, oh yeah, I'm like a 300, I'm like. Right, because some of these people, they just think you're a gift from God, they're like, oh my God, I've been declined by 3 other people, I don't have, I'm on welfare and I can't qualify for a mortgage, and thank God you have credits for me.
It's not gonna be different.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, unfortunately, like, we can't help you. And so you're going through, you're just pre-qualifying them, and then you're just handing them off to the lender. And you just need to let the lender know, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, do you wanna partner with me on this? Because this is the real thing as well, there's gonna be lenders that aren't gonna play this game. They have too much business, right, to where they're not, they're not gonna deep dive, so this is probably one of those ones where I'm gonna see if anyone that wants to be my friend. And I'm gonna build a relationship with them, and then I'm gonna let them do some work with me, and then if I do get a solid one, maybe I'm gonna hand it off to them, be like, hey, this is my sphere of influence, like, help me with this person. But I expect you to do this, right? So this is like all those lenders that are reaching out to you guys for coffee and want to go do different stuff, like, go take the coffee appointment and see if they're interested in this. And then play this game with them, and then just tell them, like, hey, I'm doing Facebook leads. Will you reach out to them? What do your touch points look like? Because you gotta qualify the lender as well, because there's many lenders, like I said, there's many lenders that don't want to do this, but looking at the one call was good enough. Hey, I called this person and I left a voicemail, they didn't call me back. Well, it's a Facebook lead, you probably got to call them 5-6 times, right? Well, I talked to them the first time. And so you're just gonna do those different things, qualify them, hand them off, and then the lender's gonna tell them what they qualify for. That's the credit piece. I'm not talking credit, I'm letting the lender do that. They might qualify for chapel. They might be conventional, they might be FHA, but then we just figure out some different things and we talk about concessions from there.
So can I ask you a question? Is there any lenders that we're partnering with besides CMG that maybe deals in the non-QM sphere? Because some of these people that might have credit score issues might qualify in a non-QM
Yeah,
sphere.
you're gonna get I-10 loans or get all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I don't have anyone, doesn't mean that no one else doesn't, but with Mitch, he's the only one I'm gonna say with, but
It's QM.
qualified mortgage. So the traditional, they don't qualify for a traditional.
Yeah, they usually do like loan statements.
Yeah.
I-10 and stuff like that.
So. They are. I'm sure if you put it out there, someone has some people. I don't have any person.
So as an example, like if I have a contact that works at a lender's office that does non-QM, would I have the potential to reach out to them and say,
100%, the only relationship, so just so you guys know, the relationship we have with land title, the relationship we have with CMG home loans, the relationship we have with Altitude, right, those are, I just lost the word. It's a marketing agreement that we have with them, so that
Yeah,
they pay us rent, depending on what the government allows us to do, and then we just don't market any other people.
doesn't mean you
You
can.
can work with whoever you want.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
You can do, yeah, anyone can do, yeah, you guys can do business with whomever you want.
Yeah.
That you are not locked in any of our business
I'm
partners.
just thinking that might be a way to capture some of these people. that-
100%, you're gonna have to, like I said, I think that's just gonna be too busy.
Oh, I actually have one, because I see it all the time. I tell those.
Yeah.
That's how much I do.
Yeah, 100%, so that's the thing, like, there's gonna be people that you're gonna get, that are gonna be multiple touch, I don't think it's gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now, he's not gonna reach out 10 times to you, the person.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, cool, so we went through, right, we talked about the lead, we talked about why the lead, we talked about going through command and setting up, we talked about lead form versus non-lead form. We looked through different mopers to run through, we talked about the smart plans and where we can go find smart plans and grab them. We looked at the different merge fields when you're cleaning up the smart plans, and then we just dove into the referral partners, if you're looking to run out-of-state ads to where people are kind of traveling back and forth into Colorado to see how you can build this. Then I think the biggest thing from here, guys, is that you're going through and you're tracking your leads. And Chris, while we're probably not gonna go through the big process of it. Perfect, you want to show them that, and then you just kind of want to show them the opportunities and kind of where maybe to dump them in the opportunities.
Yes.
Cool.
So definitely wanted to mention forced registration here. Again, if you're not using that blue bubble Facebook lead gen form, then you do potentially want to make sure that you have forced registration on if you're going to send them to your website. You know, obviously, so basically what this means is as someone's in my website looking around, I sent them over to my website. After they click on 2 properties, when they go to click on their third, they'll be asked to sign up or sign into my website. Obviously, not everyone's comfortable with doing that, but the way to think about it is, you know, Zillow, Realtor.com, they're all doing the same thing, and then they're turning around and selling these leads back to us. So if they can do it, why can't we? I mean, our website has the ability to do it there. But basically, again, no property viewing, that means as soon as they get to your website, if they try to click on one property, they'll be prompted to sign up or sign in. It does give some benefits for that as well. But that's where you'll manage your forced registration is what that's. And then the last piece of it is in the opportunities. So as you're getting these leads, and depending how it is that you have your pipeline built out. You know, obviously, maybe for the first time buyers under 300, those are all going to be coming in the buyer's pipeline. I would probably have them somewhere in the cultivate. And when you do this, so you can actually, I don't know what yours might say here for your different stages, but you can actually change these. So maybe you want to come in here and hit stages and checklists. And you can change the names of this, maybe 2+ years, 1 to 2 years, 6 months to a year, 0 to 6 months, whatever it is you want to put in there. You can add stages as well. But depending on if you haven't got a hold of the buyer or the lead, maybe throw them into 2+ years. But that way you won't forget about them. They'll be in your opportunity pipeline, and that's where you can always go back and look. Oh yeah, I need to contact these people. If you talk to them, you get a hold of them right away and they express interest, and maybe you want to throw them into 0 to 6 months. But I would definitely have most of them running from the cultivate stage here. And then as you talk to them more and more, get them set up, that's when you can start moving them over to the appointment stages. But you do want to make sure you're building this out here so that you can always come in and manage it and kind of see who you need to contact. Outside of that, I think that might be it.
Yeah, anybody else have?
Any other questions or?
Who else is on Zoom with us still?
And guys, what tactical questions do you have for Chris, as well as if you're looking at this thing, you guys are thinking about running MOFRs, what MOFR do you think that you would run?
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys thinking about as you're doing these different things? Taylor's gonna be a little bit harder, because I know she said she's gonna look at TikTok, and so that, I think, is really just. That's a video, like you're actually having to produce content.
I'm just gonna take my winter video and say, do you want this to be your winter?
Yeah,
movie follow-up?
I like it. What other thoughts, from most of us?
No. I think the neighborhood guides are also good, or steps for a seller to do before listing their home.
Be a good one.
4 free steps that you should look into or something, because you don't want to give all of your.
I don't wanna give everything away, but enough that it's something of value, yeah.
Where would you get those, or how do you pay those? Is it just kind of
I
digging
mean,
around, or is it
like,
like you have
steps.
on your own website and guide them to your website?
You could build a page out on your website and then have that kind of be where you send everybody or where you get that information from. I think that would probably be the best way.
You could build out like, it depends on what you wanna do for your sellers too, like, you could go like, oh yeah, here's like 10 staging tips before you sell your home or whatever. And you're like, but maybe staging is something you offer to your sellers when you, or staging advice or something, when you get a listing with them, so you can say, here are these, this is the starting place, but when you list with me, I'll give you a full consultation or whatever, like you wanna, don't give away the farm, maybe give them just a few first things, right?
And you can use ChatGPT to your advantage, to help create those for you as well.
Maybe that takes into, like you said, a landing page or a blog post that you create, a blog about like staging your home to sell, or yeah, or maybe you have a seller guide that's like a pre-listing guide that. Again, I don't know if I give away everything right away, but something small, a page or two. That you, a PDF that you can, let them, download or something.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
I think so. Again, it's ultimately just whatever it is you want to make and send out to them. I mean, I think for sure the first time buyer is a great way to target people, especially because if you can really build out a bunch of leads, then you can start marketing the first time buyer seminar that maybe you're doing virtually only or something, but then you start sending out emails to 50+ people about that. And next thing you know, you have 10, 15 people hopping on a first time buyer seminar with you. So the opportunity is there. Again, it's just, you gotta find out what it is you want to do and then just do it.
And those follow-up plans, I feel like they're super important, those follow-up plans, the SMART plans, or however you wanna build that out. And in trying to respond to these in the past, and I wasn't always the best, like, always coming from value, not just like, I'm gonna sell you, like, what can I help, what questions do you have, what can I help you with, how can I, like, where are you in the process, like, like.
I think that's huge, offering value. I mean, at a minimum, maybe every person you actually get in touch with, you just set them up on a safe search or a RE Colorado search, just to see what the market's like, but that you offering to do something for them is gonna be a lot. It's gonna go a lot further.
Right,
Yeah.
it's more, it gets better response than just being like, I wanna sell something to you, like you still use for sales and everything, So trying to figure out what those points of value are that you're sending them.
And with those smart plans too, I think you wanna have a good variety of, emails, phone call, text messages, whatever it might be. Because if you're just gonna do phone calls, you're gonna become a telemarketer. And if you're just doing emails, it's just gonna be spam at a certain point. So you do wanna make sure that you're reaching out multiple different ways to try to get a hold of these people.
Yeah. And like you said, it takes lots of touches.
Mhm.
Sometimes somebody will respond to you right away, and sometimes they'll unsubscribe from you right away, but yeah.
You will have your occasional, I always remember the one, Fakey Rogers was his name that he gave me, with his information. So you gotta roll with those punches, but as you do it more and more, ultimately, you're just trying to build it out, get as many new contact information that you can. And there's so many times that you may not hear from the person for 3, 4, 5 months, and the next thing you know, you reach out randomly and they're like, oh yeah, hey, I was interested in this or whatever, so.
Right.
It's just staying top of mind and getting that content to them and offering, however you can help them in any way, so.
I have a question. Once the form is out there and on Facebook, they click on it. Let's say we wanted to offer them something like, free moving guide or a free buyer guide or something. Can you attach that to the ad, or do we have to send that separately?
You would have to send it separately. The other thing that you could do potentially is inside your smart plan, if you're gonna auto smart plan, you could have that automatically being sent from the smart plan inside it. So as
Okay.
soon as they give their information to you, they'll be added onto that auto smart plan, and you know that then will send them that guide or whatever it is that you're trying, whatever information it is you're trying to get to them.
So we can create our own smart plans?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So you go back to smart plans, you don't have to go find it in the library like I was talking about.
Mhm.
From the smart plan page, I believe in the top right, we'll have the create option,
Okay, got it.
and you can just build it from scratch,
Awesome. Super. Thanks.
of course.
We usually go borrow somebody else's and build your own.
Yeah, I'm not creative enough to build my own, so I usually try to borrow it, but.
Start from something that somebody's had success with and then, yeah. Cool.
Sweet. Any other questions out there?
No, thank you guys, this was super.
25 minutes back in your day, go do a paid ad.
Yeah, and if we get off this meeting and you feel like you're running into issues or having something's making you struggle, let me know and we can hop on another one-on-one or something down the road as well. I'm here as a resource, so, but yeah, just get out there, get those ads going and start trying to get some leads.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Problems with that. Getting my Facebook linked. I had, no, hey, that's you. And I can't.
Yeah.
Put those messages over and over. This message is sent to. Oh.
Okay, I'm sure everybody I did, okay.